What's up everyone? And welcome back to the MMA Buzz. Daniel Cormier and Chael Sonnen have sparked a new debate in the bantamweight division, arguing that Merab Dvalishvili's lack of a proper warm-up at UFC 323 may have played a major role in his loss. What's surprising is how quickly the narrative has shifted. Just days ago, the conversation centered on how impressive Tapuria looked in the rematch. Now, more and more fans are examining the chaotic moments leading up to Merab's walkout instead. After the fight, Aljamain Sterling detailed what happened behind the scenes. The plan was straightforward. Once the Pantoja code to main event moved, a few minutes into the first round, Merab would begin his full warm-up, a routine that usually involves more than 20 minutes of intense movement, grappling flow, and elevating his heart rate. But when the flyweight champion suffered a sudden injury and the fight ended abruptly, the UFC was forced to speed up the schedule. Merab was told to walk out earlier than expected, leaving him with almost no time to prepare. According to Sterling, he essentially stepped into one of the biggest fights of his career completely cold. DC and Chael now believe this disruption might explain why Merab didn't look like that relentless machine fans have come to expect throughout his incredible streak. Of course, excuses after losses are nothing new in MMA rivalries. Ye himself claimed he fought with a broken hand in their first meeting. But Chael argues that failing to warm up properly isn't just a physical setback, it can affect a fighter emotionally and mentally. Fighters visualize every moment. Bruce Buffer's announcement, the walkout music, the energy of the crowd. When that entire routine is suddenly thrown off at the last second, it can weigh heavily on even the most experienced athletes. Daniel Cormier agrees completely. From their perspective as former fighters who have spent countless hours in locker rooms before major fights, the warm-up routine is not a minor detail. It's a crucial part of setting the rhythm, the mindset, and the emotional balance needed to perform at championship level. Whether fans see it as an excuse or a legitimate explanation, both DC and Chael insist that the disruption before UFC 323 was a much bigger deal than most people realize. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Henry Cejudo has stirred up the flyweight division once again, suggesting the UFC may bypass Alexander Pantoja entirely for the next title fight. With Pantoja suffering a severe elbow injury during his bout with Joshua Van, he is expected to be sidelined for at least 6 months. While many fans assumed the promotion would wait for the champion's return to book a proper rematch, especially since the previous fight ended abruptly and left questions about Van's legitimacy, Cejudo believes the UFC may move in a different direction. The landscape is already shifting. Brandon Royval is set to face Manel Kape in a high-stakes matchup, and the winner could be positioned to challenge Van while Pantoja recovers. Royval and Van previously delivered one of the most thrilling flyweight battles in recent years, a fight many fans still call one of the greatest in the division's history. That alone adds major intrigue to the possibility of Royval stepping back into a title opportunity. At the same time, Tsarukyan is gaining momentum. Fresh off a massive win over former champion Brandon Moreno, Taira has emerged as a legitimate contender. According to Cejudo, the UFC may even consider booking Taira for a major event in Japan, which could further complicate the title picture. Dana White has already stated that Pantoja's injury recovery will take longer than expected, making it increasingly likely that the division will move forward without him for now. Still, Cejudo argues that champions like Pantoja and former title holders such as Moreno deserve immediate rematches as soon as they are healthy. Adding another twist to the mix, former UFC prospect Muhammad Mokaev had rebuilt his relationship with the promotion following his release. He has been making noise outside the UFC and hinted that a return might be closer than fans think, potentially bringing yet another contender into an already crowded division. Cejudo also pointed out that Manel Kape, who fight Royval this weekend, could make a powerful statement. If he delivers a dominant performance, Cejudo believes Kape, along with Kyoji Horiguchi, represents one of the most dangerous threats at 125 pounds. With multiple contenders rising, the flyweight division is entering one of its most unpredictable moments in years. And the UFC now faces a tough question: wait for Pantoja to heal, or roll forward with a new challenger to keep the momentum alive? Move on to another news. Ilia Tapuria has found himself in headlines once again, but this time not for his performances inside the octagon. While his ongoing divorce has already drawn significant attention, a new story has emerged from inside his training camp. PFL fighter Gatsy Rabadanov recently spoke with the Russian outlet Ushataika about his experience serving as a sparring partner for Tapuria, offering rare insight into the featherweight champion's preparation and vulnerabilities. Rabadanov spent several days in Tapuria's camp, where he was brought in specifically to replicate high-level striking scenarios. When asked about their sessions, he emphasized the technical elements required to challenge Tapuria effectively. According to him, forward pressure and disciplined footwork are essential for dealing with Ilya's aggressive style. Tapuria is at his most dangerous when he is the one advancing. This is where he unleashes explosive combinations, often leading to knockdowns and fight-ending sequences. But Rabadanov also revealed what he sees as the champion's most significant weakness: his lack of precision and comfort when forced to move backward. He noted that the UFC audience hasn't truly seen Tapuria tested in retreat, and pressuring him the right way can disrupt his rhythm and take him out of his preferred range. A fighter who thrives while controlling the center of the cage can be made to look human when forced onto the back foot. During their sparring rounds, Rabadanov claims he implemented this exact strategy, and the results, according to him, were not smooth for Tapuria. He suggested that Ilya struggled more than fans might expect when pressured properly, even hinting at moments where the champion was visibly shaken. While he didn't go into explicit blow-by-blow detail, his comments imply that Tapuria may not have dominated the sessions the way many would assume. All of this comes at a turbulent time in Ilya's life, as his divorce continues to unfold publicly, with court battles and personal drama overshadowing his professional focus. The combination of personal turmoil and challenging sparring reports has sparked intense debate within the MMA community about whether the champion is truly at his best right now. Move on to another news. Dana White has officially shut the door on any possibility of Francis Ngannou returning to the UFC. The situation erupted after Francis admitted in a recent interview that his post-UFC career has not gone the way he expected. Speaking about his time with the PFL, Ngannou revealed he feels disappointed, stuck, and sidelined. He admitted the momentum he once had is gone, the activity has slowed, and his career isn't where he imagined it would be. When asked about a potential UFC return, he didn't openly campaign for it, but he made it clear he would be open to the opportunity if it ever came. Naturally, fans immediately began speculating about a possible comeback, but Dana White has now ended all discussion. In a new interview with the Mac Life, the UFC president was asked directly if there was any chance of working with Francis again. His response was blunt and absolute. Dana said there is zero interest, zero conversations, and zero possibility of Francis returning to the UFC. He emphasized that the chapter is fully closed. Dana also revisited the story he mentioned weeks earlier about a tense moment between him and Ngannou before their split. He clarified that the incident was exaggerated online, but acknowledged that it reflected a long-standing rocky relationship. He explained that during a backstage disagreement about a $50,000 bonus, Francis insisted he deserved it. Dana said the UFC had already awarded it to another fighter. As Dana turned to leave, Francis placed a hand on his chest and said, "We're not done talking yet." Dana responded sharply, "Oh, we're done talking." He stressed that Francis never threatened him physically, but the moment showed how strained things had become. When asked again whether there was any possibility of reconciliation, Dana doubled down. He said he couldn't make it any more clear there is absolutely no path forward. He even admitted that nothing made him happier than sending Francis to the PFL. Dana added that when the UFC lets fighters go, he feels bad for whichever organization picks them up, because they are released for a reason. With that, the door on Francis Ngannou's UFC return isn't just closed, it's locked, sealed, and bolted shut. Move on to another news. Manel Kape has found himself at the center of controversy after a new fight. Weak photos surfaced online, leading many fans to accuse him of using PEDs. The picture shows Kape in his UFC uniform, and viewers immediately pointed out what they believe is visible gynecomastia, often called gyno, a condition where male breast tissue becomes enlarged due to hormonal imbalance. While gyno can occur naturally, it is also commonly associated with PED use, since excess testosterone can convert into estrogen, triggering the condition. To be clear, these accusations are coming from fans, not medical professionals, and no official evidence has been presented. Physically, Kape doesn't look dramatically abnormal for a flyweight. His build appears consistent with high-level athletes in the division, aside from noticeably large pectoral muscles, which fueled the speculation. Still, the MMA community wasted no time roasting him online. One fan even photoshopped a sports bra onto Kape's image, sparking a wave of memes and humorous comments. The jokes ranged from harsh to ridiculous. Some fans wrote that due to broadcast rules, Kape would be forced to wear a sports bra to prevent naked breasts from appearing on TV, suggesting he would become the first male UFC fighter to compete with his chest covered. Others claimed the UFC intentionally uploaded the photo that most clearly displayed what they believed was Ngannou. Comments like, "So we just don't care about PEDs anymore," and "Royval is going to beat the life out of this little roid cheat," quickly spread across social media. Some compared the situation to Israel Adesanya's 2020 controversy when one of his pectoral muscles appeared swollen, leading to similar accusations. Adesanya was heavily mocked online at the time, even though he denied PED use, and the issue was never formally proven. Fans are now debating whether Kape's appearance is the result of performance-enhancing drugs or simply his genetics. The conversation has only grown louder as his fight approaches, and opinions remain divided. What do you think? PED usage or natural genetics? Share your thoughts in the comments. And that wraps up today's update. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. We'll see you tomorrow. Move on to another news. Tsarukyan is facing major backlash after a behind-the-scenes clip resurfaced suggesting he may have lied about the real reason he withdrew from the Islam Makhachev fight. The controversy began when his nutritionist, Kape Nutrition, uploaded a YouTube video documenting Tsarukyan's preparation for UFC Qatar. In the footage, Arman is joking around with his nutritionist and casually says, "We didn't miss weight like last time," before laughing. Fans immediately jumped on the moment, pointing out that the officially stated reason for withdrawing from the Makhachev bout was a severe back injury, not a failed weight cut. This single comment has now ignited a storm online. Many believe Arman unintentionally revealed the truth about the weight myth, suggesting poor weight management rather than injury was the real issue. This also lines up with Dana White's earlier cryptic comments hinting at behind-the-scenes stuff Arman knows about, which fans now believe referred to this exact situation. Once the clip went viral, the MMA community pounced. While it's possible Arman was simply joking, the timing and context made fans far less forgiving. Comments flooded social media. "He actually did miss weight and blamed a back injury," one fan wrote. Another said, "You can laugh about missing weight for a title fight, then cry about not getting another title shot." Others pointed to his string of controversies: missing weight, allegedly lying, headbutting Dan Hooker at weigh-ins, and punching a fan, calling him a bad employee. Some even argue this situation justifies Dana White's tougher stance toward Arman, especially as fans had previously accused Dana of lying about his interactions with Francis Ngannou. Now, many are saying this clip proves Dana was right about Arman all along. One commenter even joked, "Apologies to Nina Drama," referencing the online abuse she received when the back injury narrative first came out. Fans blamed her due to an earlier post implying Arman was dealing with serious physical issues, combined with the main event collapse caused by another fighter's back injury. Tensions were already high, and this clip has only made things worse. Now, with the truth appearing murkier than ever, the backlash against Tsarukyan continued to grow, and fans are questioning whether he deserves an immediate title opportunity again. Move on to another news. Nate Diaz has once again shaken up the MMA world, this time by calling out Pimblett in a surprising and now viral moment. While fans were still digesting the latest wave of fight announcements, Nate dropped a short but powerful clip on Instagram that instantly captured the attention of the entire MMA community. In the video, Diaz is seen training, hitting pads with his usual intensity and laid-back swagger. As he finishes a quick combination, someone off-camera casually asks him who he plans to fight next. Without hesitation and without breaking character, Nate responds in classic Diaz fashion: calm, confident, and slightly amused. He looks toward the camera and simply says he's looking at Pimblett, making it clear that Paddy the Batty is the name on his radar. The moment felt both unexpected and authentic, especially coming from a veteran like Nate who rarely calls out fighters without purpose. Fans immediately began debating what this matchup could mean. Diaz has long been known for targeting opponents who bring excitement, star power, or a stylistic challenge, and Paddy Pimblett certainly checks those boxes. As one of the UFC's most talked about rising stars, Paddy's name carries weight, making Nate's call-out even more intriguing. Social media erupted instantly. Some fans were thrilled by the idea of a clash between Diaz's gritty street-style boxing and Pimblett's unpredictable, high-energy fighting approach. Others questioned whether Paddy, who has had a mix of dominant performances and controversial decisions, is ready for the intensity and pressure that comes with a Nate Diaz fight. Still, the buzz is undeniable. This is a matchup fans didn't see coming, but now many want to see materialize. Nate's callouts are never accidental. and his tone in the video suggested genuine interest rather than a passing comment. Paddy Pimblett, known for his bold personality and willingness to engage in verbal battles, hasn't yet issued a response, but the MMA world is already waiting for his reaction. In a sport driven by storylines, personalities, and unexpected twists, Diaz calling out Paddy Pimblett is exactly the kind of moment that sparks excitement. Whether this leads to an official matchup or simply ignites a war of words, one thing is certain. Diaz has once again reminded everyone that he can command attention with just a few words. Move on to another news. Dan Hooker has issued a clear and intense warning to Saint Denis as he looks to make a quick return following his recent submission loss to Tsarukyan at UFC Qatar. Despite the setback, Hooker has made it known that he's healthy, motivated, and eager to step back into the octagon, this time with a destructive mindset aimed squarely at BSD. In a recent interview with Sporting News Australia, Hooker didn't hold back when discussing his intentions. He explained that he wants to take on hungry fighters who believe they're destined to be champions, only to dismantle those ambitions once the cage door closes. Hooker emphasized that his goal is to inflict serious damage, break momentum, and ruin everything his opponents are working toward. He stated that he's fully fit coming off the last fight, returning to sparring almost immediately, and feeling sharp after a grueling 5-round training camp. Hooker also reflected on the long road back from 2 consecutive hand surgeries which sidelined him for over a year and a half. Coming back against a highly avoided #1 contender reignited his competitive fire. And now he's determined to stay active and take on dangerous matchups. For him, BSD fits that mold perfectly, a rising contender full of confidence and drive. Then, in a follow-up interview with Main Event TV, Hooker doubled down on his message, this time with a dark sense of humor. He jokingly warned Saint Denis that he doesn't care about his own health, safety inside the cage. And once BSD realizes that, everything will change. Hooker described the moment fighters understand he's willing to take just as much damage as he dishes out. According to him, that realization hits their face instantly, an "oh wow" moment when they understand he's not backing down regardless of the consequences. Hooker made it clear he's not looking past BSD or underestimating him. He expects a brutal, high-impact fight, with both men hurting each other throughout. The kill-or-be-killed mentality he brings has always delivered exciting matchups, especially in striker versus striker battles. But while fans love his fearless approach, there's also a concern about how much punishment he can take before it affects him later in life, something the careers of many fighters have shown all too clearly. Still, Dan Hooker remains committed to his path. For now, all eyes are on whether he and Saint Denis collide, and whether Hooker's warnings become reality inside the cage.